Beneath the dark quiet night sky of a world 200 million years ago, the age of dinosaurs was never defined only by brutal fights and endless struggle. Maiasaura, the gentle dinosaur whose very name carries the warm breath of motherhood, stood guard over her nest beneath the soft glow of moonlight. Tonight drift along with the light wind and fine drizzle sweeping across the land of Montana, journeying back to that tender beginning of life. Feel the timeless power of motherly love spanning hundreds of millions of years, and let your weary soul settle into calm stillness amid this quiet, soothing narration. Many hidden truths lay sealed away beneath cold, barren rock layers until ancient fossil nests were unearthed and revealed to the world. Maiasaura shaped a safe harbor with her own body, shielding her fragile young from harsh wind, rain, and lurking danger. This is far more than an ordinary tale of dinosaurs. It is a profound philosophy of guardianship, devoted love, and the eternal continuation of all living things. Close your eyes, listen to this gentle story that lingers softly in time, and let your mind and spirit settle into perfect peace alongside the slow, steady breath of Maiasaura. If the long history of life is a rough, unfinished sketch, Maiasaura stands as the most delicate, tender stroke of color woven into its canvas upon the moonlit wilderness of the late Cretaceous. She murmured soft, low sounds to soothe new life, newly breaking free from their eggshells within this timeless space, as quiet and comforting as a late-night radio broadcast. Maiasaura's quiet watch becomes a healing rhythm to calm the heart. Follow us into the full life story hidden behind this gentle ancient creature, and beside the warm glow of flickering hearth lights sink into a deep, peaceful night of rest. Long ago, upon that vast, desolate wilderness, life was once narrowly defined by cold cruelty, endless predation, and merciless struggle. People once believed these enormous prehistoric beasts knew nothing but clashing battles in muddy marshes and slow withering beneath scorching sunlight, possessing no trace of tenderness or compassion. That all changed when the passing wind brushed away layers of ancient mud deep within Montana, uncovering a breathtaking fossil puzzle that held the whole world breathless. A gigantic mother dinosaur remained forever bowed over her fossilized nest, her eternal posture shielding her unborn young from endless wind, rain, and the cold passage of time. This gentle guardian was Maiasaura. Tonight let the soft, warm glow of flickering hearth fire stay with us as we wander fully into the untold story of her quiet, devoted life. On this soothing journey spanning hundreds of millions of years, we set aside tales of dominance and raw power and dwell only on the quiet tenderness that flowed beneath the moonlight, never faded or erased by the march of time. Slow your breathing gently, imagine yourself standing upon the open wilderness of the late Cretaceous, and embrace the profound, quiet guardianship she embodied. The true turning point of her story lies not in the final moment of passing, but in the quiet choice to stay and remain behind. It was an ordinary afternoon in the late Cretaceous, when the mountains of Montana still held the damp, misty scent of primeval ancient forests. Maiasaura stood atop a raised earthen mound, her gaze lacking the sharp aggression of ruthless predators, filled instead with quiet, anxious vigilance. All her herd companions drifted slowly toward distant water sources, following the primal instinct to survive and migrate, yet she paused firmly in her tracks. Beneath her feet, within a circular nest carefully built from soft soil and woven plant stems, new life trembled faintly inside fragile eggshells. The first faint crack of breaking shell echoed across the open wilderness, soft and faint like a quiet sigh, barely audible amid the rustle of wind and foliage. To other dinosaurs, newly hatched young were merely random traces of nature, but for Maiasaura this fragile beginning marked the start of a long, unwavering vigil. She lowered her head, using her broad beak to nudge loose earth with clumsy, infinitely gentle movements, careful not to startle the delicate, vulnerable life stirring beneath. This deep reverence for fragility set her apart in an era ruled entirely by survival of the fittest, making her stand apart yet shine brightly with quiet grace. As night fell, moonlight draped over Maiasaura's broad, sturdy back like a soft veil of silver silk, and the whole wilderness sank into a deceptive, fragile stillness. Faint, distant roars drifted from hidden valleys, the low, hungry growl of lurking predators wandering silently in the shadows rather than retreating deep into the shelter of dense forest. She stood firm, her massive frame forming an unbreakable barrier directly before her nest. One can almost hear her long, steady, rhythmic breath, each slow rise and fall pouring quiet safety and warmth into the hidden nest beneath her body. Tiny, newly hatched young, unable yet to forage or fend for themselves, huddled closely beneath their mother's broad frame, seeking the precious warmth of her body. Amid the growing chill, Maiasaura maintained unwavering alertness, never slipping into deep sleep, her eyes half closed, catching every unfamiliar scent and subtle shift carried on the night wind. She knew countless watchful eyes lingered in the surrounding darkness, and her only shield against danger was this tireless, boundless motherly devotion. Fine light rain began to fall, pattering softly across towering fern leaves, creating a soothing, rhythmic rustle. She spread her large forelimbs wide like a living umbrella, blocking cold wind, harsh rain, and hidden threats far beyond the shelter of her nest. This lifelong guardianship demanded relentless self-sacrifice, and in this season of scarce natural resources the cost she paid verged on fatal exhaustion. Myasora normally needed vast amounts of conifer needles and wild shrubs to sustain her great strength, yet she endured prolonged hunger rather than wandering far from her nest. Her features grew leaner, her golden eyes lined with quiet weariness, yet whenever she gazed down upon her steadily growing young, a restrained quiet warmth glimmered deep within her gaze. She did more than merely feed and protect them, she guided them to understand the rhythms of the wild, teaching them to distinguish friendly calm from hidden danger within the sound of the wind. This quiet education came not through aggression or dominance but through gentle physical touches and low resonant murmurs shared between mother and young. The natural world around her shifted subtly, climatic changes making food supplies unstable and unpredictable. Myasora faced a silent inner struggle, balancing the need to guard her nest constantly against the urge to search farther for ripe berries and fresh foliage. Every choice to linger close or venture out, every hesitation between staying to shield her young from sudden mudslides or seeking nourishment tested the depth of her spirit. Her entire life was woven together from countless small heavy decisions, each one a quiet act of defiance against the cruel uncertainty of fate. The most sorrowful endings often arrive quietly beneath calm omens, marking an eternal dawn sealed within earth and stone. When a devastating catastrophic flood swept through the ancient valley, Myasora could have easily fled alone, her great size granting her safe escape, yet in that fateful moment she chose to lower her massive body, using her last remaining strength to cradle every fragile hatchling safely beneath her chest. In that instant, worldly power, status, and even the survival of her kind faded into insignificance, overshadowed by the boundless quiet strength of a mother's love. She closed her eyes, feeling cold mud slowly drift over her scaled skin, pressing heavier and heavier until the last breath of fresh air faded away. Her life froze forever in this eternal guarding posture, becoming a living monument carved from flesh and bone. Slumbering deep beneath the land of Montana for 70 million years, she lay undisturbed, until modern paleontologists brushed away the heavy layers of time and uncovered her fossilized form. The world finally understood that even in that wild, untamed prehistoric age there existed a mother who embodied pure compassion with every beat of her heart. She was once dismissed as nothing more than a giant primitive reptile, yet within her arranged fossil bones humanity clearly recognized the universal emotional bond of motherhood transcending all species and time. Today the wind still sweeps across that ancient wilderness after 230 million years, carrying away all worldly chaos, leaving only the soft lingering echo of Myasora's gentle legacy. Her story answers the quiet question posed at the very beginning of our tale, that love alone forms the strongest armor protecting all living things. What she left behind for the world is far more than fossilized remains. It is the eternal courage to stand guard and protect even in the darkest, coldest moments of life. The night has grown deep and still, visions of ancient nests, silver moonlight and soft drifting rain fade slowly alongside the gentle flicker of hearth light. Myasora's slow steady breath lingers softly all around you, wrapping you in quiet peace for the night. At the close of this gentle timeless journey, allow yourself to release every heavy burden weighing on heart and mind. Just as the tiny hatchlings sheltered safely beneath their mother's broad frame, you now rest within a harbor of absolute warmth and safety. Free yourself from restless anxiety and unfinished worry, surrounded only by profound stillness and the soft whisper of wind outside. Good night, gentle Myasora. Good night to you, drifting softly upon the edge of peaceful dreams.